Hey everybody, so last night we got some big news in the NHL as the Calgary Flames fired head coach Geoff Ward and replaced him with longtime NHL coach Darryl Sutter. Obviously, this is pretty big news that dropped late at night and was kind of interesting because Calgary actually won last night in blowout fashion over the Ottawa Senators. But this seems like a decision that had already been made. It didn't really matter how the game went last night. They were going to move on from Geoff Ward, and it's not surprising. A lot of Calgary fans have been calling for Geoff Ward's head pretty much all season this year, and their record is been pretty disappointing to this point this season, where they're currently outside of a playoff spot. So not really super surprising news, just maybe the timing of it a little bit. It's not too often you win a game 7-3 and then get fired right after. That's a pretty rare thing to happen. But again, like I said, it seemed like this decision had already been made, and they were going to be doing this no matter what. So some of the reasoning why this happened. Calgary's been really disappointing this season. They had big expectations, especially after making all the moves they did this past offseason, where they were trying to go from being, a playoff bubble team to being a legitimate contender for the Stanley Cup. And, they brought in Markstrom in goal. Unfortunately, he's been injured. They got Tanev. They added some depth pieces. This was supposed to be a big year for the Calgary Flames, and so far they are sitting at 11-11-2, fifth place in the North Division, outside of a playoff spot right now, and they just haven't been as good as they were hoping to be. And I guess they decided that coaching was one of the reasons why. And they've decided to bring back Darryl Sutter, who has coached the Flames before. He was actually the Flames coach back in 2004 when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Sutter has had a very, very good NHL coaching career, including 2 Stanley Cups with the LA Kings in the early 2010s. And if you look at Sutter's career over his coaching record, he started in the early 90s with Chicago. Then he went to San Jose and was the Sharks coach for a number of seasons. Then he went to the Flames from 2002 to 2006 and made the Stanley Cup Finals there. But his most successful coaching run came in his last coaching run, which was with the Los Angeles Kings from 2011-2012 all the way through 2016-17. And he won 2 Stanley Cups, like I said there, with the Kings in 2012 and then again in 2014. So Sutter is a very old school coach. Obviously, the Sutters, 6 brothers, all played in the NHL. Very successful hockey family. And, they've been around the game for a long, long time. And Sutter's had a lot of success. And I think they're hoping that his style is going to really push this Flames team over the edge and push them to be better. Because he's not here to make friends. He is not here to be your friend. He is here to be your coach and try and get the most out of you. And that style was successful for quite a while with the LA Kings. But then at the end, obviously every coaching run comes to an end, and he did end up getting fired after they missed the playoffs in 2017. But overall, I think Sutter could potentially push this team to be better. Now, is it good enough to really make them a true contender? I personally don't think so, because I really don't think coaching is the biggest problem with the Calgary Flames. It really hasn't seemed to matter who the coach is, whether it was Bob Hartley, Glenn Gulletson, Bill Peters, Geoff Ward. I mean, they've gone through 5 coaches now with this core group in place for the most part, the Monahan, Gaudreau, Giordano crew. And the team underperforms every year. Sometimes not in the regular season, but they've never gone anywhere in the playoffs. This year, they're underperforming even in the regular season. And I personally think that coaching isn't the biggest issue, and I don't think that Sutter is going to be able to come in and just magically make this team a contender, because I don't think coaching's been the main problem. Now, was Geoff Ward partially a problem? Maybe. I know a lot of Flames fans really didn't like what he was doing there and really wanted to see him gone. So you get your wish now, but I don't think this is going to magically change the Flames. It really hasn't mattered who the coach is. They've underperformed in the playoffs in every single year with this core group. And I thought they should have blown this team up after losing to Calgary in the first round a couple years ago when they were the 1 seed in the West, and then they get beaten 5 games in the playoffs. It's first round, which was really an embarrassing loss. I think that showed you all you needed to know about this current, this Flames group. Now, they have made some roster changes. They've added to the roster, but at the end of the day, it's a continuous cycle of underperforming for the Calgary Flames, and I think this more comes back on the players. I don't think this group of players is ever going to win anything. I don't think you could bring back, Scotty Bowman and put him behind the bench. I don't think it matters. You could get any coach you want. It could be Joel Quenneville, Mike Babcock, Scotty Bowman, Darryl Sutter. It could be a new coach. It doesn't matter. This group of Flames players is never going to win anything. I think they should have blown the team up a couple years ago. I think they certainly need to do it after this season. They need to start making some trades. And this move almost feels like Brad Trevelling's last-ditch effort here to do something with this group. But I personally don't see it happening. But again, Sutter is a very good coach who I like a lot, and he's gotten a lot out of teams in the past, particularly those Kings teams that he was coaching, that won the Stanley Cups. He's a Stanley Cup level winning coach. We'll see what he can do with the Flames. Hopefully for their sake, maybe he can prove me wrong and they can go on a big run here in the second half of the season and then maybe make a playoff run. But I have never seen this Flames team really win anything. They haven't even won a playoff series, I don't think, since, well, I guess if you count the qualifying round last year, they did. But then they got beat in the first round of the regular playoffs by Dallas pretty handily. They won a round in 2015 and then lost in the second round. They haven't been past the second round of the playoffs in forever. And I don't see this core group winning anything. I think the players are more of the problem in Calgary than the coaching, but coaching was probably an issue too. But they've been through. This is now their 5th coach in the since 2015. And it really hasn't seemed to matter who the coach is. They continue to lose early in the playoffs. So for this year, it's just going to be a struggle to get into the playoffs given their current record. They're going to have a big second half if they're going to make the postseason. It's definitely not impossible, especially with how weak the North Division is overall and how there's a lot of teams there that aren't really very good. Particularly with Montreal's struggles recently and Edmonton getting blown out 3 games in a row by the Leafs. I mean, the North Division is not a very strong division when compared to some other ones in the league. Now, obviously, they're all playing each other, so that kind of shakes it out differently. But Calgary could still make the playoffs this year. They might not. They're not in a playoff spot right now. We're going to have to wait and see. But the big thing for me is if they do make the playoffs, are they going to do anything? And this is a team that has not won anything in the playoffs in recent history. So we'll see if Sutter makes a difference. Obviously, he's a very successful NHL coach who I really do like a lot. Very old school style. It'll be interesting to see how that meshes with the Flames players. Definitely some different than Geoff Ward. But the only way to know is to see what happens. And we have the rest of this year to figure that out. So Geoff Ward, no longer the coach of the Calgary Flames. Darryl Sutter takes over, very successful NHL coach, and we'll see if he can get the Flames to do something that they haven't been able to do at all under any coach in recent history, and that is make a significant playoff run. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon merchandise store, donation link, and channel membership link are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.